Well, a blessed evening to you all, and welcome to Love SA. It's your host, Pastor Strike, and I hope my co-host, Dr. Mabila Matebula, also is here with me. And I just want to take this time and say, hey, welcome to Love SA, the Nehemiah phenomenon. And here, beloved, we're talking about being able to rise up and rebuild the walls so that we be no more a reproach. And it is in this program where we bring us that are doing something that really addresses that, to make sure that we're taking away the reproach. We are making sure that we are covering the nakedness of a nation, the nakedness of a family, the nakedness of a community. And this is very, very much important, and it's something that I believe, even as a nation, we ought to really rise up, love ourselves so much that we are able to cover the nakedness, those issues that becomes challenges, those issues that becomes burning issues in our nation. We cannot just look and watch, but we must rise up and do something. And this is what Love SA is all about. Now, tonight, I have my two guests, if not three guests, because one is joining us from Mozambique. We are looking at what, as a nation and as a people, we are confronted with, most especially when you look at the ailing economy. And when you look at joblessness, and I believe joblessness is something that has come to stay unless we do something. That is why you remember people were so angry when the president said, in fact, as government, we do not create jobs, And of course, it was on the background that in the beginning, he said, we're going to create jobs. And I think he was very truthful that they cannot, as government, create jobs. And of course, they must create a conducive environment for private sector. Not only private sector as we look at it, but for individuals, for citizens to be able to find something that then helps them to rise up and build the nation and cover its nakedness and its reproach. That is why tonight, my guest number one is Pastor Joylene. Pastor Joylene, she has a teaching that she's been doing, not only in teaching, but also practically so. And the teaching is about your jar of oil, discovering your jar of oil. And I found it to be so profound to realize that there is something that becomes your jar of oil right where you are, which can just turn your situation around. And another guest that I have, this man is a director of TSP College. In fact, my two guests are educators. They have the background of being teachers, being educators. And the director of TSP College is a college that is massive, that is now, I think, in 3, if not 4 provinces in South Africa, but that's trained people across the entire nation. And this man, he shocked me last week when he invited me to come and speak in his certification ceremony, because there I met people that under all circumstances, you can say, they would have all excuses not to be able to do something, but to see them receiving their certificates, excited and joyous, I'm telling you, it sent a very strong message to me, because he was training people that were deaf and dumb, people that were blind and partially sighted, people that were physically disabled. And these people were trained and they were receiving their certificates in programs that makes them go all out. I wish time would allow me to show you some of them, how physically disabled they are, and those that are blind, totally blind and partially sighted, and those that are deaf and dumb. But I must be honest, I realized after that graduation that truly the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but it's life without a purpose. And Helen Keller, a lady who at 19 months became blind and deaf, that is another condition. But at age 7, found a teacher who could help her. She ended up attaining a degree, a BA degree. But far and above that, she wrote a lot of essays. She wrote a lot of papers. And she became a motivational speaker. And I'm telling you, she said something that struck my heart. She said, life is unpredictable. Start with the dessert first. So ladies and gentlemen, I invite you all tonight, all my friends on Facebook, all my friends on YouTube, and those of you who are listening on Bold Moves Radio, I invite you all tonight. I trust that this session and this program is going to really transform our lives. But also, I have an entrepreneur who is a professional. She's a dietitian by profession, and she joins us from Mozambique because she continues to expand her product. I love people who really step out and do something that has never been done. As a dietitian, she would be just at the hospital advising people on diet. You know, they're sick, they need a particular diet. But while doing that, she chose to make sure that she steps out and be concerned about nutrition and began to work on products that are nutritious. And that is why she's in Mozambique tonight. Allow me to say to my guests, you are welcome. And Pastor Joylene, if you could say hi to my listeners tonight and my viewers.
Thank you so much, Pastor Strike. Good evening to all the Love SA viewers and those that are listening from Bold Moves Radio. It is an honor for us to be at the Bold Moves studios tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Pastor Joylene. And Mr. Chris Tembe, good evening, sir, and welcome to Love SA.
Thank you very much, Pastor Strike. And I'd like to greet everyone who's listening to us there. I hope this program will benefit and will definitely make a change in our lives.
Very true. And allow me also to say to our sister Mantla Mabunda from Mozambique, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Pastor Strike and our viewers, and thank you for having me on Bold Moves Radio. I'm hoping that this program will impact our brothers and sisters everywhere, and yeah, it will make a difference in their lives.
Thank you so very much, my dear sister. And of course, my co-host today, I look like a garden boy when I look at him. He looks smart. That's Dr. Mabila Matebla. Hi, Doc, good evening to you.
Hi, Pastor Strike. How are you? And good evening to our guests tonight.
Thank you so very much. You look like yourself, man. I'm telling you. I came driving like a madman from Joburg, from taking my grandson, and I just rushed to the studio. And I must be honest, you're representing us all tonight. Now, let's hit the ground running straight away. Pastor Joylene, let's quickly talk about the jar of oil. And the jar of oil, to you, it's almost everything. What can you tell us about the jar of oil as we take off tonight?
Thank you so much, Pastor Strike, and to all our lovely viewers and to my guests tonight. You said it well when you gave the introduction that we are living in a time where we are confronted with a high rate of unemployment. May I say, not to repeat what you have said, may I say, I just fell in love with this teaching or the story of this woman who was named a widow or situation, was confronted with a situation where she found herself as a widow, and the situation was forcing for her 2 sons to be taken away from her because of debts. Now, looking at the story, Those who have got interest of reading it, they can find it in this book of 2 Kings, chapter 4. Now, just paraphrasing the story, the woman, because I want to believe she tried everything that she could to change the situation of her life and her family, but unfortunately she could not. One thing that I love with the woman is she went to the man of God. And when she went to the man of God, thank God, the man of God knew this woman, because it is said her husband used to work with him. Now, when I love the approach of the man of God in Mfundisi, and I relate it to our situations today, as most especially, let me talk of South Africa. The man of God asked 2 questions to this woman. Number one, he says to her, what do you want me to do for you? Number 2, he says, what do you have in the house? Now, looking at our circumstances, the unemployment rate, you know, all sorts of things that we are complaining about as South Africans, I'm amazed by the response of the woman, because number one, she's not responding to the first question to say, what do you want me to do for you? And I think if I'm in agreement with all of you, you'll agree with me that today, when we look at our brothers and sisters in general, you know, people want somebody to do something for them. We want the government to do something for us. But this woman, she's not taking that option. In other words, when I try to process her response, she's saying, I don't want you to give me something that will not be sustainable. Now, she chose to respond to the second question, to say, what do you have in the house? But even in her response, her answer was like, you know, she said something which she did not put value to it, but at least the question provoked or challenged her to think of what is in her house, because she responded to that and say, I don't have anything but a little jar of oil. You see, even when she put it, she says a little jar of oil. So somehow it was something which was not of value. And I want to believe it's something that has been there, even when maybe the husband was still alive. But thank God, she came to the moment of realization that she has got a little jar of oil. Now, before I even go forward, I want to believe we all have our little jar of oil. That is why I love this text so much, because to me, it opens my eyes to say, all of us who have got something which we may not be realizing that it is of value, that it can change my situation, that it can make me to also impact or touch other people's lives. Because after submitting or coming to realization of what she has, now the man of God gave her instruction of what she needs to do. Now, when you continue with the conversation, the man of God says, go borrow vessels. I love that one, Pastor Strike, because, you know, she's not being told to go and ask more oil. Oil she had. It was in a small jar. But the man of God says, go borrow vessels. Now, to me, to go borrow vessels can mean so many things. Now, as I say, all of us who have got a little jar of oil, in our situations, you have a skill. It may be something that you are looking down upon, but you may have a talent of some sort. You may have an idea. You can have even, you know, a passion of some sort. Now that becomes a little jar of oil. Now, when we say go borrow vessels, it can be in different ways. It can be to submit it to those people who are already ahead of you. If I've got an idea, I may not know how to go about the idea, but the idea will not help me as long as it's still within me. But if I go borrow vessels, I go submit it, it can be formal or informal training, to go look for somebody who is or maybe in the same line with the idea that I have. to ask questions, to say, you know, Mr. Tembe, I've got an idea of this, but I don't know how to start. I'm coming to you to borrow vessels because you will also help me build capacity as for to pour my little oil, because in this instance, you remember that we're talking also of the power of God that is able to increase that which may be very small. So that is why I love this jar of oil, and my submission to our people and to our viewers tonight. I want to say you have a jar of oil within you. You have a jar of oil in your house. What you need to do is to ask God to help you to discover it. Go borrow vessel as you submit it or work on it or being trained or, you know, to sharpen that skill that you have. Because when we look at the challenge of this woman, God did not use something from outside to take her out of her mess, but God used this little jar of oil. So the moment she realized it, it became so valuable that she was not even ashamed to go borrow vessels. Now, I think if we can be helped as South Africans to break, you know, the fear of going out, for sharpening of the skill, being helped to position my idea, and also to find resources that can help me in the resource, in the oil or the idea that I have. Because at the end of the day, we see her life changed because of the little jar of oil that she discovered, that she realized, and that she submitted to the man of God who took her through processes.
Wow. So the truth is that we've got it. My solution is not outside.
Yes.
It's not far-fetched. It's right in me. And I think it makes a lot of sense, because when you talk about life, I can imagine if God will hide something from me, far away from me, but he hid everything within me. I think that is why knowing of self and understanding self, my passion, things that, like Dr. Miles Monroe will say, things that makes you really mad, you know, and things that makes you angry. It might be exactly where you are at. Thanks, Pastor Joylene. And I would just want to take this time and say to my co-host, Dr. Mabila, Dr. Mabila, what do you have for Mr. Tembe, our director of TSP College? And I must be honest, I spoke now twice in this college, and it's a massive college, and we applaud this man because he sacrificed the opportunity to be the principal of a school, and he chose rather to go and establish a school, which today is helping many people. And after having spoken to him, I would love even to take just one of the people that are beneficiaries from this college. What do you have for Mr. Tembe, Dr. Mabila?
Yeah, thank you, Pastor Strike. Firstly, I have to give praise where praise is truly deserved to Mr. Tembe for having actually taken infinite pains to establish such a school. And my question to Mr. Tembe is, Mr. Tembe, I think you'll agree with me that being disabled in an able-bodied world, it's a very difficult process. But from what Pastor Strike has actually been saying about the people that he met there, those people were in a position to still paste a smile, not to give up, not to commit suicide. What is the reason behind it?
Come again?
The face,
Doctor?
Oh, Mr. Tembe, I'm actually saying that you'd actually agree with me that being disabled in an able-bodied world, it's something difficult.
Yes.
But from what I've actually gathered from the meeting that Pastor Strike had last week is that those people are very positive,
Positive. Yeah.
And what I've actually realized, most of us who are able-bodied, we want to give us easily, we want to commit suicide, and those people are still in a position even to paste a smile and have that energy. And I'm actually asking you why are they having positive energy instead of being discouraged?
Yeah, thank you very much, Doctor. I've worked with disabled people so many times. Even last year, we did some training in computer skills, ICT skills program. These people, they are very, very positive. The fact that some of them, they don't even like to be called disabled people, because they say we are disabled but able. I remember when we do trainings, sometimes you want to treat that particular person because you think maybe the person is going to struggle to do this or to work on a laptop. And then if you are said, no, just leave me. I might be disabled, but I'm able. So they are so positive. And I wish sometimes if all of us who maybe we say we are able, maybe we say we are able, but we are not able like this disabled people who are so able. I don't know whether the terminology is correct, but they are very positive. When you show them something, or you show them how to do 1, 2, 3, they grab that particular thing very, very fast. Sometimes more than those of us who are able. So definitely, if we, the people who say that we are able, we are not disabled, we can learn a lot from these people that we call disabled, because that courage, they want to prove to the world that they can do it. They want to prove to the world that no, you call us disabled, but we are able, because these people can do things that you and me and Pastor Strike, Pastor Joylene, we may not be able to do, but they can do those things. Some of them, they don't even have hands, but they can do things with their feet. And some of them, they can operate a computer or a laptop very well, but they don't have all the fingers. And when we have to teach them, we have to teach them typing skills or how to use a computer. And that thing, it's for 5 fingers on your left and 5 fingers on your right. But find that the other person has 4 on the left-hand side and then 3 on the right-hand side. But they will even type faster than us. So it's they have that will, they have that courage, that or desire that we want to show these people that we can do it. And they really can, they are very good. So it's high time that we take these people seriously, even in terms of employment. Sometimes we that think we are able, when they come to look for an employment, you look at the person, and then you think that no, this person cannot operate a switchboard. But because maybe he is blind, he cannot see. But with the courage that they have and the will to do things, they can do. They do anything. So as I train, or we train these people, we also learn a lot from them, and we thank God. Sometimes when you are with them, you realize that how fortunate you are.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tembe. And I think maybe I should have said disabled. I should have said differently abled. And over to you, Pastor Strike.
True, differently able. Yeah. No,
Wow.
this is powerful. This is awesome. I must be honest. It reminds me of a child who was a twin, they say, and as a twin, he did not have enough oxygen in the womb, and because of that, he was born twisted. He could not hear. A lot of things were just not okay. Now, there came a time where there was a piano teacher who was to come and teach the so-called able-bodied twin brother. And then he would teach him, but it was like it's taking long even to grasp it. But they say one day, this twisted, disabled, and mentally also disabled twin brother, one day crawled to the piano and started banging on it. And, the family thought, at least he's got something to entertain himself. Let's leave him. And he went on and on and on and on. And after some time, he started playing the songs that the teacher was teaching his brother. He played the songs one after the other. The teacher started crying. The family started crying. And the teacher decided to join him and play on the side, play the song. And he went on and played it. Play, and then he went on and played it. And I am saying, truly, like Dr. Mabila said, differently abled. And I want to believe even those of us that we feel we are able-bodied, we are differently abled. I do not have it all. I do not know it all, but there's something that I know, and there's something that I can do and do best. And that's what Pastor Joylene then will call jar of oil. And even before I go to one of our beneficiaries of the trainings that you do, Mr. Tembe, which we appreciate a lot, because these trainings, they position one for what they are passionate about, for their jar of oil. In fact, it's like they are borrowing vessels to fill these vessels with this particular oil that they already have. I would love to take this time and say to my sister Mandla, joining us from Mozambique. Mandla, if I may ask, why are you in Mozambique? And if I may be smart a little bit, Botart.
But how can you put me on the spot like that? Okay, so thank you, Pastor Strike. I'm in Mozambique attending the FASIM International Trade Show. This is a show that seeks to connect international and local buyers and manufacturers and distributors here in Mozambique. So we've got more than 22 countries worldwide gathered here. We are exchanging ideas, we are forming partnerships, and we are actually expanding our product offerings to the world, basically. So that is why I am here, and it's so amazing because my uncle is there in the studio with you. So it's such a special spring day for me. Yeah.
Very powerful. Yes, spring day. Today is the 1st of September. Tell me, Mandla, especially you're a dietitian by profession, and now you have got your own product. And on this very summit that you're talking about, which is an international platform, and it's in Mozambique. And sometimes as South Africans, we don't think that there are opportunities and there are open doors even in our neighboring countries. How was it advertised, and do you have more South Africans in that exhibition?
Yes, thank you, Pastor Strack. So this is a platform that is offered to all, I think, government agencies that seeks to uplift the empowerment of SMMEs. So there is the DTI group here, and there is the CEDA group that I'm part of. So it's about 21 of us small companies that were taken by CEDA and sent to this international trade fair. It's very empowering, and really it exposes you to other markets as well, and you learn best practices. So I would really urge anyone who's aspiring to be an entrepreneur, whether at an idea phase or now they're in production phase, to get themselves acquainted with all the government agencies around them, of which they are available in all the provinces. Get to a CEDA office and introduce yourself. Even when you haven't opened a company, those people are well equipped to assist you in like bringing your vision to life, which is quite great. And I believe as a government, South Africa is not doing much in advertising or marketing some of the services that they are offering to their citizens, really. Because come to think of it, they've spent, I'm sure, this is a rough estimate, more than 60,000 rand per person who is here, and we haven't paid anything. No one can give you that. And just to go and expand your product offerings to the world. So I believe that's a great thing.
Wow, that's powerful, and that says a lot again about our government. Let's really applaud our government for that. But at the very same time, while you say they may not be really marketing or advertising it to the best, but at the very same time, it says to us as citizens, are we really aware of the opportunities that government is offering? Because it is also our responsibility to make sure that we get to know, we knock doors. We don't just become vote and then we have got officials, or you've got a particular ruling party and then it rules, and then we expect things, just expecting things and not stepping into the doors of our government offices. But at the very same time, our officials that are driving such programs, I think the encouragement would say is, please talk about these things. And the entrepreneurs whose eyes are opened like you, Mandla, it's very much important also to talk to other entrepreneurs to make sure that we are aware and we knock doors and we do something. In our language, you cannot just lie down and say they must come and tell you there's this opportunity and that opportunity. You must hustle, you must knock doors, you must do something, you must really go all out. You must show that, like the woman, Pastor Joylene, the woman with the jar of oil.
Very true.
She realized, man, I'm sinking here. This boat is sinking. I'm finished here. This guy have come to take my children for slaves because of my late husband's death. His estate is not properly wound together, and I'm in trouble. And she stood up. She didn't just say, "Yo, manano," but she stood up and she went. Said, he was a prophet who was working with this guy. Let me go. And look. Yeah. Something happened. I think Mr. Tembe and Dr. Mabila, I think that on Love SA, we are also saying that as citizens of this country, let's take responsibility. Let's take initiatives. I don't like the situation where we sit back to blame as if government should bring things on a platter. But at the very same time, I'm saying to our government officials, government agencies, please, let's talk about these things. Let's market these things. I'm a pastor. Come to church. Tell us, look, I want to address you guys about opportunities for the youth, opportunities for entrepreneurs. That is why we must join hands. When I say Love SA together with Dr. Mabila, we're saying, let's join hands. Let's build this economy. Let's build this country. Let's use the resources that we have. Let's use even the agencies that we have. I think and I believe, because I've traveled in some few African countries, South Africa is a great country, a great opportunity. And it loves its people. It's one country that builds people houses for free.
Very true.
But if we don't travel, we won't see that. We won't appreciate that. And we will not even go and say, look, I don't have a house. We'll just complain. They don't know whether you have a house.
Pastor Strike, I think what you are saying brings me to my second question. That Pastor, I think Pastor Joylene has actually made the ground fertile for us. That, for example, the story of Elijah and the widow's oil also tells us about that family was in financial distress. But what I like about the whole thing is that there was division of labor in that family.
Oh, yes.
The women had to go and borrow vessels. And the sons had to fill those vessels with oil. Now, in other words, each and every person in that family was working, towards improving their situation.
Wow.
And my question to our three guests is, how important is the division of labor when we live in a weak economic climate?
Wow. Yes, how important is it?
Thank you, Doctor. If I may come in. It's very important that it's the sharing of resources and the sharing of labor. It's very important. Pastor Strike, you just said that TSP College, it's where it is now. It's because there is sharing of resources, even human resources.
Okay.
We know that you cannot do everything on your own. You have to involve other people. If you look at I was listening to Mandla, what she's saying, like the government is doing something. It cannot do everything. She is employing other people to share the work that she's doing. She cannot succeed alone. Even the product that she has, it was because she was working with other people. Oh, yes. We are STS Pay College where we are today is because we're working with other people, and we're going out there to look for resources, like the woman who went out there to look for these vessels. She had to do something. The vessels did not just drop from heaven like that time where they had to manna from heaven. There is no manna that we get nowadays, but it's through working very hard. I mean, like they are now the department. I mean, our government is doing a lot. I mean, sending these people to Mozambique to attend that international program of empowering people. That's what it. You also mentioned the issue of the government building houses, and those people who are in Mozambique now, if they have the chance of going maybe to the rural areas, they will see how people are suffering. And they'll really appreciate when they come back what is happening in South Africa. It's very, very important because we need other countries to even to share ideas. And these are the vessels that we even an idea is a vessel. If I go to Pastor Joylene and ask for to assist me with a particular idea, how can I do 1, 2, 3? Where can I get 1, 2, 3? And then she those are the resources, those are the vessels that she's talking about. But we have to do what? Like you said, that man of God did not use miracles just to be surrounded by vessels without this. It was not like that. He said, go and look for these vessels. And he did not say go to Pastor Strike. He said go out there. Yes. Not go to this place. Yes. Go out there. And then ask and then get some vessels. And he did not say what type of vessels. Some were very small, some were medium, some were huge, big. And then he from there, he managed to bless that woman with lots and lots of oil.
In fact, also responding to Dr. Mabila's question, I think now that we, different individuals, we have a concern of what is happening, because you look around, you still see so many people who still want to be given something to quench their hunger, or to satisfy their need, but it will not be sustainable. Now, because the concern is growing in us, I think it's a high time where we need to do like this show is doing in our different corners, to instill in our people the love to contribute to the change of their situations. You see, the woman went to the man of God, and all of them, they had a part to play in the turnaround of the woman's situation. Number one, she initiated it by going to the man of God, and the man of God in response engages her. He did not just provide the miracle like you're saying, Mr. Tembe, but he engages her. And I want to believe in the process that the woman engages her sons. You understand? Unlike going out there to borrow things and come and do whatever the man of God is instructing her to do, and now the sons just become beneficiaries. I think we need to break that spirit, because with our behaviors, we just do things, and that is why you find people toying and breaking, infrastructure and everything just to be given something in South Africa. Now, you see, this woman, like you're saying, it was not just an easy work that she was told to do. The man says, go borrow vessels from everywhere. Everywhere. And from all your neighbors. Go to that scripture, you read it, you'll find this. From all your neighbors. And empty vessels, not full vessels. Empty vessels, number 3. Number 4, and not just few, but many. So that is where we need to come in and maybe bring an awakening for your situation to change. You need to put your part also.
Joylene, I'd say that I see Chris was saying something very true. Says our government taught us to be dependent on them, like creative entrepreneurship. That's true, but it's wrong. You can teach me things, but if it's wrong and if it's not working, I must wake up. You know, if he who's sitting on a stone or who's got a stone in my shoe must feel the pinch and must do something. That's a very true one. That is why we're very disgruntled people because of service delivery. Yes, that was wrong. And I must say, unfortunately, politics, they survive around them. You know, they survive around them. When people are self-dependent, when people stand and fight for themselves and work for themselves and become economically stable, then, you know, not easy to fight to such people. It's not easy to promise such people. So, then, you know, that's why sometimes those who have material things but are not rich, they enjoy having material wealth around poor people. That's why they boast. But when you are truly rich or wealthy, joy making others also wealthy, joy sharing opportunities. And I think by the time that our government start sharing or start helping us to stand on our feet, but on the very same breath, Sisulan Palo says, I am in Polokwane and I'm in government. Truly, there are great empowerment opportunities. Is right here in Polokwane. And she says, please come and see me. This is what we're talking about. When we say love the state, let's have government officials who knows opportunities and who says, please come, let me expose you. That another thing that maybe becomes our serious challenge is corruption. Because corruption makes people want to sell that which they were supposed to share with people. You know, they make it so impossible. They make it so special, you know. You know, this is information, this is knowledge that you should really share it with other people. On that note,
Pastor Strike, if I can come in on that one. You know what is amazing? What Pastor, like alluding to what Pastor Joylene was saying, we also as Masana dietitians run food bev accredited learnerships. These are government funded learnerships where the learners are actually even getting a stipend from them to move from home to come to our training facilities. Now, even when you are giving them the stipend, that is why I'm saying we need to find a way of which we actually sensitize people on getting back on their feet. I don't know when you remember when it was President Thabo Mbeki's time, we had that concept, Vukuzenzele. We need to awaken awareness, that consciousness, those type of themes where from crashes to radio stations to TVs, everyone, the theme of the country is that wake up and do it for yourself. Because even now, when they are given things for free, like our learners, I'm talking about qualifications that you would otherwise pay 50,000 Rand in a private college to get. You get that for free. You actually also given a stipend for free, but they fall out. You know, I have to chase them. I have to go knock on their doors. I have to threaten them for them to come to class. And they are getting a stipend to do that. So I don't think it's an issue of poverty being access to material things and money. It's poverty of the mind, if you ask me. So now we need to come up with ways with which we can instill the sense of ownership of one's future, not even for anyone. So there's a bit of a discord there, and giving people money doesn't work, because on these programs that I'm running, we are giving them a stipend. I mean, 3,000 Rand for someone who was sitting at home without access to anything every month, just so you can get access to good quality education, but still someone will not come to class. So clearly it's not lack of money, it's all in the mind, and that what is frustrating for someone who's trying to help at the moment. So I think as lovers, if we can come up with some sort of solutions around it to change the mindset of our people, that you really have to come to the party when it comes to now making something of yourself.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think we are going back to Pastor Joylene still. You know, the woman and Elisha. I think what she saw a poverty, which was a problem. The same applies to what people see in South Africa. Whenever we look at the government, we see corruption. But little did we see the jar, little do we see the jar with the oil, the opportunities. And what we are saying in this program is that although we actually acknowledge the fact that the government somehow there is a corruption, but still there are some opportunities, you know, out of corruption. So let us not focus on corruption and lose sight on the opportunities. And I think all of us, we agree upon that. Thank you.
You know, Doc, that is very much important. And that's where now Love SA with Almost Radio comes in. And that's where now me and you, we also pastors. That's where now we must incorporate in our curriculum, if it is so-called in the church, where we teach people, you know. And that's when now on any childhood development centers, we have to bring this thing, because honestly, it is in the area of the mind. And when you deal with it, let's listen to this pastor. I love her story because she did something, you know, when
Nashaweta, loyi a vulavulaka I Pastor Gertrude Khosa kwala Risinga View, lava ku vulavula swintsongo hi leswi ni nga swi endla at TSP College. Hi 2018 ni endle higher certificate ya ECD, ivi hi 2019 ni endla diploma, then 2020 ni sungule ECD center leyi vito ra yona ku nga Get Mark Early Childhood Development kwala Risinga View. Lava ku vula ku ni twe swi ri kahle ngopfu because swi ni nyike direction. A ni ri na kona ku navela, mara a ni nga tivi ku ni nga fanele ni swi endlisa ku yini, mara since ni kote ku endla ti-courses leti na TSP swi ni motivate swinene, and swi ni endle ku ni kota ku twisisa ku ni ya kwini and ni endla yini and ni ya swi endlisa ku yini. Swi ni endle ku ni tiva n'wana ku antswa, leswi vulaka ku tirha na vana sweswi ni twa swi ni olovela swinene because it's something lexi ni nga dyondzisiwa xona kwale a TSP. Hi ku vula leswi lava ku tlhela ni teka nkarhi lowu aka lava va nga va ka na vona va swi navela fambani a TSP, they will train you and you will understand and you will enjoy. Hi leswi na mina swi nga ni humelela, swi ni olovela ngopfu ku rana ECD hi sweswi because ni twisisa n'wana, ni twisisa maendlelo, ni twisisa matirhelo ya ku ni fanele ni endlisa ku yini, ni fanele ni dila njhani na vana. So on the other hand ni tlhela ni kombisa ku yi tlhela yi va job creation. Loko n'wina mi ye kwele ku fana sweswi mina ni nga ya kwele, sweswi ni nga vuya a ni tirhi ni ri nexe, mara ku na vanhu lava ni tirhaka na vona. So leswi vulaka ku loko n'wina mi yini mi nga swi kota ku vuya na n'wina mi employa vanhu van'wanyana mi tirha na vona. Tanihileswi hi swi tivaka ku South Africa mintirho ya kala swi nyawulanyana sweswi, mara n'wina mi nga va muthori, mi thola van'wanyana lava vona va nga tshukaka va nga ri na nkateko wa tikuma va kote ku sungula nchumu, mara hikuva n'wina mi sungula mi nga swi kota ku at least mi va teka mi tirha na vona. So hi ku vula leswi na ku vula ku mi nga chavi loko mi nga swi tivi mi ku navela mina ku na mali a mi nga swi tivi ku mi nga swi sungula kwini. It's simple, just go to TSP, they will teach you, and then when you come back mi ta swi vona ku swilo swa olova swinene, ni khense swinene inkomu.
Streaming 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Nakupenda sana, oh, nakupenda sana.
being journeying together. The program is Love SA, and I'm your host, Pastor Strike, and my co-host, Dr. Mavila Latebula. Our guest is Mr. Tembe, the director for TSP College, and also Pastor Joylene, the senior pastor of Manatamango Church, and also Martha Magunda of Masana Dietitians. And we just having a great time. We had Pastor Gertrude who was speaking. Joining specifically, so your fellow pastor, and I think this one's just exactly like you. Let's talk a little bit when we talk of the jar of oil. Can you practically show some of the things that you discovered, most especially in the heat of the COVID-19, where we were boxed, we were scared, and we also lost income. And what are the simple practical things, and most especially that which was very close to your heart, this thing just loved it, but you managed to turn it around and you became a business today. What can you say to us? Oh, God. All right. My dear, wonderful listeners, I know you guys did not hear me unless if you heard me just a little bit from the other mics because my mic was dead. But I was saying to Pastor Joylene, Pastor Gertrude, she's a pastor and she has started her own early childhood development and she went for training and she says, wow, she's an employer now. And she's helping little children. And when you understand what is happening, you also have an opportunity from that early stage to contribute positively in change of mind, creating a good mindset. Now, Pastor Joylene, if we may ask you, what are those practical, simple things that when we talk of the jar of oil, we're talking about and referring to your experience to your life?
Thank you so much, Pastor Strike. It's so encouraging to hear the testimony of Pastor Gertrude because it means she's got a passion working with little ones, the children. To many of us, it may be very tedious, when they are running around making noise. But you see, to her, it's a passion. To her, it's something that God has given to her. To her, it's a little jar of oil because sharpening that, passion of working with the children, she gets something also that sustains her and also sustains other families. Now, to break it to the simplest for people to understand why am I saying every one of us, you have got a jar of oil. I will just single out one thing from me. I love flowers, and I just want to use this one specifically this evening. I love flowers. I would love it when people, pamper me with bouquets, whether it's my birthday, it's my it's Mother's Day, or, any celebration, but I love flowers. If people don't buy me flowers when it's my birthday, I don't feel good, but I will also go and buy myself. But during COVID, because I also run other businesses, I just felt, why don't I just go somewhere, inquire a scale of arranging. Instead of me always going to buy an arranged flower, why don't I stretch myself and go study, be trained to arrange flowers? And for me, I was just doing that to supplement when I've got events. Instead of me going to buy flowers from a service provider, I will minimize my expenditure because I will arrange them myself. So it was not meant to arrange for selling. Now, when I came back, put my flowers on status and people started inquiring. And, out of that, a florist was born. And today, I think I've been in many houses, I've been in many offices, in many events. I've comforted many families during their bereaved times because of this passion. And at the very same time, it is sustaining me. And I'm saying also, you can grow your passion. You can grow by going to borrow vessels where you can be trained. If you have got a passion in flower arrangement, Pastor Strike, I think I can also extend this invitation to say this September at Farm Life Gardens, we will have a flower arrangement workshop for 2 days and a balloon arrangement workshop for a day. The 28th, 29th, and the 30th of September, 3 days, you can reserve your space. I'm telling you, it's something which you will not regret because you are going to borrow vessels. And through COVID, I was sustained when everything was on lockdown. People will phone you to say, can you deliver flowers at the hospital? Can you deliver this somewhere? Can you deliver this? So I'm telling you, we have got something that we can change the situations of our lives.
Very powerful and very true. Doc, we just have a few minutes to go, but what would you love to ask and what would you love to say as we look at Love SA tonight? And because I would love also to let Mr. Tembe, because his institute is helping a great deal when it comes to training people that are really ready to do something. And that's one thing that I think is very, very much important for people to be able to do something for themselves.
Yeah, I think also, I think Pastor Joylene has actually stated the honestness, you know, in terms of what she said. And then I think from Pastor Joylene, I would like to know that what are the behavioral indicators of an empowered woman? How would you know that someone has been empowered? And then secondly, during the Great Depression, a lot of men, you know, killed themselves because they were expected to enact the role of a provider. And then how can we actually change a paradigm where both men and women can be providers as opposed to men being providers? Thanks.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Sorry, I was just reading to one message here. Can you just repeat briefly the first question?
Yeah, Pastor Joylene, I listened to your sermon on Sunday, and then I was actually challenged. And then you spoke about an empowered woman. And then what I'm saying, what are the behavioral indicators of an empowered woman? How would you know that this woman is fully empowered? That's my first question. And my second question is that during the Great, you know, Depression in the 1980s, in the 1930s, I mean, a lot of men were expected to enact the role of a provider. And most of them, because they could not actually provide, they ended up committing suicide. And then my question is, how can we make it a point that not only men are providers, but also women are providers for the collective good of our society?
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mabila. Let me start with the second question. I think because times are changing, and yes, it was said men are providers and women will be at home. But at the very same time, you look at that and try to think of it. Men will be providing by going out, you know, but our grannies, ladies back at home, they will not be just seated and not doing anything. I think we need to bring a balance on that one. Our grannies will be plowing. Our grannies, you know, there's one thing which the other day, we were just discussing and we're talking about it to say, you know, the way our grannies were so versatile and hands-on, even when it comes to construction. Have you ever thought that even the building of rondavels, mostly it will be our grannies, women, who will set up even the foundation of a rondavel to build, while our grandfathers were gone out to, you know, to seek for jobs, for sustenance of the family. But I want to say, I don't know where it went wrong for us to adopt this notion that it's only men who must provide. And it's unfortunate that when men can no longer cope with the pressure, that is why the other day I was working in the street, we were driving along with my son, my two boys. And, you know, while stopping, parking your car somewhere, a man, shabby dressed will come, or a young man, matured young man, shabby dressed, will come knock at your window asking for something. I said, boys, what are you observing? Since we parked here, how many men or gentlemen came to knock us for something? Have you seen a woman? Why is it men who are all over in the street? But we are saying, let us reduce this pressure, and by making it like it is them who must provide. We're living in a change time, and we can stand to support each other instead of, offloading everything or shifting everything to the other gender, because there comes a times where they can no longer take the pressure. That is why we see many of them, committing suicide. We see many of them go to town now along the passages of the shops. It's men that are filling all the passages of our shops. I am saying, as women, if you are hearing my voice, let's make sure that we also train ourselves to say it is our responsibility also for the family to stand up and be functional. Look at the Proverbs 31 woman. I'm taking time on this one because we can learn something from these Bible characters. Proverbs 31 woman, the Bible says that she will wake up very early, Pastor Strike and Mr. Tembe. She will also see a vineyard and, tell herself to say, I'm going to buy it for the family, not just for herself or her name only. So if we can, both of us, men and women, bring a balance in this, and not just to leave responsibility for one only. Like in the case where a man sees a man working very well and very okay, to think, yeah, I know you're earning a lot, you do this 1, 2, 3. No, we need to bring a balance, support each other, help each other. And how can we see an empowered woman who is standing up to develop herself? And, I will say to women, sometimes, let's go back to the widow. I don't think there's anyone who told or explained how the situation was in her life. She just saw how the situation was. And what I love with that woman, she said, I will not give up or hand over my children to be given to the masters or our creditors as slaves, but I will arise. Now, I will say, instead of us being so discouraged, feel helpless as if you cannot do anything, a woman can do something. It's about just, an action, one action, to go somewhere for asking help. And that's how we see this woman, because she encouraged herself. I believe the neighbors, maybe they were tired of helping. So I am saying to women, don't just give up on your children. Don't give up on your family. Don't give up even on your partner. There comes a times like now, many businesses have collapsed and a man is seated there. He feels worthless because he's no longer bringing anything in the family. And I'm saying, by the wisdom of God that he has given to women, can you just arise and be that woman that can be a pillar of strength, even to your brother, to your father, to your husband, and to your children, because we are not equally given the ability to receive pressure. I want to believe there are those who can be able to stand in pressure times or in challenging times, but those who are weak, let us not judge them, but let us see how we support each other. So a woman who is empowered will always be able to think of what is it that I can do else to save the situation.
I think on that, Mr. Joylene, and I think it does very much important, but also we as men, we have to also, change our narrative and our thinking, because an African man at the back of his mind feels, my wife must stay at home, I'll go out and work.
Hey, not in this time, Pastor Strike.
But that mentality, that's why when a woman is to provide, an African man feels undermined.
Definitely.
He feels useless and worthless. He feels, that's why it becomes grumpy. That's why it becomes impossible sometimes. I think we have to deal with that, because also on the question of empowering. Empowerment should also start. I must be able to empower my wife as a man.
Very
I
true.
must teach her how to drive.
Mm.
I must let her dream. I must let her think.
Mm.
I must let her follow her passion, her dreams. You know, that's very much important, because sometimes we suppress all that. And in suppressing all that, it comes back to bite us, because now, you know, this is the woman that was supposed to help me, but she cannot help me because I did not empower her. You know, you don't withdraw where you did not deposit. So that becomes a challenge also. But I would love for us to wrap up at around the next 10 minutes. I'm giving us at least until 20 past. I would love to bring this young lady who is also empowered. I just love the energy and how she spoke, because training becomes also very key. And we should help each other. Maybe another thing that we also, Dr. Mabela, that we must also deal with, more especially as South Africans, is to, and Mr. Tembe, I think you will agree with me, is to deal with this thing, a salary. A salary will never, nobody was ever wealthy or rich through a salary. Now, while you have a salary, don't kill these other things that God has given. Supplement, augment, do something, you know, sell something, reach out, do something that will help. So that's very much important. But let's hear this young lady, what she's got to say. And this part of your product, Mr. Tembe.
On board Moves radio station. My name is Sandra Mpiwana. I have completed higher certificate in ECD and currently studying towards National Diploma in ECD at TSP College under Polokwane campus. So what I can say about the qualification is that the qualification has benefited me in so many tremendous ways. I say this very proudly. And I feel so happy about this, because it really has opened so many doors for me, so many opportunities. I'm currently appointed as a researcher and community development practitioner at Department of Social Development. My roles and responsibilities are as follows: researching and monitoring the effectiveness and impact funded in the Department of Social Development, residential care facilities, including provision services. For example, we deal with the NGOs, we deal with gender violence, we deal with household profiling. When I talk about residential provision services, I'm talking about old age homes, children's homes, home-based care, social workers, and stuff like that. And also capacitating on registering NPOs such as crashes. So when I look at this qualification and looking at my job at the moment, I can apply Vygotsky theory and behavioral theory that I've learned back in my higher certificate. I apply this in workplace today and forever, because these theories is something that you carry in and day out, something that you carry wherever you go. Because when you look at Vygotsky theory, you have to apply the theory in workplace, as well as when you take it back to the learners in crashes or learners in school. It's something that is very vital, practical, and useful. The reason why I'm saying this is because when we apply Vygotsky theory in workplace, you cannot deliver something that you are not capable of doing, something that you have not acquired before. You have to deliver the message that you have received from the sender. So this is how Vygotsky theory works: receiving the message from the sender and taking in the message, understanding the message, and delivering it to the audience. This is what I can say more about Vygotsky. And when I look at behavioral theory, I take this back to the learners in crashes or schools, even the colleagues here in workplace. We go through different stages of growth in life, and we have to apply those different stages in life. So I can really say that today I stand amazed of this qualification. It has really opened so many opportunities for me, because wherever I go, I am holding the bull by the horns. And I'm very much grateful and thankful to God for giving me this opportunity. One thing that I can be grateful for is I'm grateful for my family, for the support throughout my facilitators at TSP College. Mrs. Tarahale Melita, she's one of the best facilitators, best mentors that I have met in my life. Mrs. Aya and Mrs. Mpatele, thank you so much. I thank these facilitators for all the guidance and teachings. Thank you so much for having me today on Bold Moves radio station. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so very much. That's powerful. She's empowered.
And she's empowered.
You listen to her, she's empowered, this mother.
And she's enjoying it.
She's enjoying it. The time is not on our side, but I just want to give you, Mr. Tembe, and then I'll let also my co-host, but I want to give you, Mr. Tembe, some of the parting shots, more especially when we talk about training, listening to this young lady being empowered, and also Mandla, I would love for you guys to give us parting shots. What do we do? Because Love SA say we're not just about talk shop. We're about putting action to our ideas, working things out. And Pastor Joylene, want to hear that. What do we do from here? Those our brothers and sisters that managed to be part of this show, what can they do? Where do they start? And Mr. Tembe, after who's this one? After is it Sandra? After Sandra has spoken so well about her empowerment and now being a researcher at social development, what can you say? Are you only offering early childhood development programs like we have had 2 of them now?
Yeah, thank you. Sandra spoke very well, and I'm very proud of her too. At TSP, we really want to make a difference out there. A human being start there. Early, that's why it's called early childhood development. You mess up with a child at that level, you have messed up that particular person for the rest of his or her life. Now, it's not only ECD that we are offering there. The dog there, I think you will be proud or happy to know that we offer also inclusive education.
Oh, yes.
That at NQF level 5, and inclusive education, it deals with learners who find it difficult to learn. In most cases, we tend to say, no one will be able to get you right. So that type of a language is because maybe that particular learner is struggling to learn. But with inclusive education, I think maybe one day, if we can have time also to talk about inclusive education. It's at NQF level 5. It's mostly, it deals with learners who find it difficult to learn. And in most cases, as Africans, we tend to dismiss them or to forget about them. And then we concentrate on the average learners and above average and all the learners that they can learn and forget about. So we also offer inclusive education. It's very important. And then we also offer IT, information technology. We teach people how to design websites. That is a system development. We teach people how to fix computers, laptops, technical support. So we do all this. And recently we also going to offer, we got an accreditation to offer journalism.
Okay.
So we can offer journalism. And we are accredited to offer those courses. We offer courses for local government. Next week after next week, I will be in Mpumalanga offering a course to to COCTA, officials of COCTA, because we are also accredited to offer courses that are related to local government, even agriculture. We have poultry farming. We do offer those courses, poultry farming, even courses like project management, how to manage a project. Doesn't matter how small a project is, it must be managed properly for it to be sustained or to grow. So we offer many courses. And I would also like to mention that for next year, we also this month, towards the end of this month, we are going to start doing registrations for these different courses that are out there. I did not mention them because of time, all of them because of time, but anyone is able, is free to communicate with us, to contact us, and then we take it from there. But like Sandra said, first of all, every time that you want to, when you have that particular jar, enjoy what you are doing, enjoy learning, enjoy knowledge, and say to yourself that I can do it. If you choose early childhood development, enjoy it. And then choose IT, enjoy IT, be creative. Whatever you do, our local municipalities, we have courses that we can offer that are, all our courses are accredited by the CEDAS. We don't offer a certificate of attendance. So if you want a certificate of attendance, attendance register. That's what we can give you. Accredited, competent certificate of competence. So if anyone comes to us, that's what they tell you, I mean, to do. I give you the attendance register.
What can you say about it?
Well, I'm also expecting to have an attendance register after this show. You know, ma'am, I think I've got a suggestion. I spoke to Mr. Tembe about the attitude of his students, and then Mandla also spoke about the attitude of his students. I actually suggest that Mandla must actually benchmark with Mr. Tembe. He must actually take the students to Mr. Tembe and show them how differently abled people, attitude towards education is. Because at the moment we're dealing with education, we're dealing with an attitude, and if we can't actually get the attitude right, we're going to actually have a problem. Now, I actually suggest that Mandla and Mr. Tembe must actually work together and, and benchmark, so that everything that we're doing can actually have an impact. I thank you, Pastor Strike.
Thanks very much, Doc. And then Mandla, what would be your parting shots? And of course, the assignment is loud and clear, and the uncle is very near.
Oh, thank you, Pastor Strike. My parting shot is that, we appreciate all the support that Bold Moves continue to show towards Masana dietitians and our services. And really our vision is to, make healthy quality products for our people, coupled with good food health and food related training services. That is also accredited. So we are following very closely to Uncle's feed. And anyway, for more information, people can simply log into our website, which is www.masananutrition.co.za. That is where they will find all our gut-enhancing healthy food products that they can choose from. And by the way, also Pastor Joylene is my leadership there because she's one of our biggest distributors of our products. So anyone who's interested in the famous one, they know, everyone knows NutriBoost now in Limpopo. They can also get in touch with her and they can have access to our product. And as far as training is concerned, Doc, you'll be happy to know that already we have a pilot group that has gone through the hands of Mr. Tembe. Actually, they were writing their exam around ECD qualifications and they were so happy. The feedback that they gave was very happy. So we are already on the line of learning from the giants. So yeah, that is what I would love to say, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for the continued support.
Thanks, Esmanda. Thanks, Esmanda. Love SA is about supporting those who are doing something powerful. And I would love also Mr. Tembe to give us his numbers or his contacts for his different centers before we close. Pastor Joylene, what would be your parting shots?
Thank you so much, Pastor Strike. And my parting shots is just submissions to our viewers in relating to Love SA, the Nehemiah's phenomena. You see, when you look at Nehemiah, it started with a concern. We have been deliberating, and also even in other shows, I think there were so many deliberations on how to impact and change our lives or the situations around us. Nehemiah, it started with a concern. The assignment felt so huge when he was still hearing it, but the concern that was growing within her made it possible for him to find favor with the king, to get resources, and also to cast the vision to the fellow countrymen who came along to change the situation of Jerusalem by building the wall, but they went through processes. I am submitting to all of us that it is my concern, it is our concern when we see how our people it's like their lives are so stuck. They don't know what to do, and they're just waiting for somebody coming from somewhere else just to give or to give a handout. But that will not change our situation. My submission will be to say, within information and the knowledge that we're receiving, even from our fellow guests, let's make sure that we take it to our loved ones back at home. Let's share this information. Share the information about the
Thank you for having me.
The college for Mr. Tembe and the Masana group, the Masana dietitians. You know, let's share information and let it be your concern to change one person or share information, or also if you are able just to pay for someone, if maybe wherever they need to go sharpen their jar of oil needs some payment just to help and change somebody's life, they will go change somebody's life also. And you know, I was touched when last year I attended a balloon training in Joburg. You know, in the group, I'm submitting this to men because when we talk of the jar of oil, because in the Bible, you know, it's a woman. It's not only for women, and all of us, men and women. In that training, as a strike, there was a very old man who came, an Indian man, who came for balloon training. He was not the only man. We had quite a number of men. And, you know, with us coming from this side of the country, we're saying, hey, these people, they love money. But, you know, when they were deliberating, I realized he's saying an opportunity because elderly, as he said, I'm on pension. But, you know, I'm here because every function that will be hosted amongst my family members, when it is my grandchildren's events, I will do the balloon galas myself for free. But if it's for my children, their wives, their friends, and I will be charging a fee. And on pension, I will be making something, you know. So I'm saying to all of us, let it provoke us. Let it start with a concern, and we can change our situations around.
Very powerful, very powerful. Hey, Doc, this is powerful. And, you know, I'm challenged even as Love SA that I think we have to somehow find those that are serious and they want to do something not very expensive, like doing balloons, like doing flowers, and we must sponsor some of such, to show that we are serious about this. But we sponsor you, you are in trouble because we follow you up. You don't just train and go and sit. We want to see you doing something and making a difference in your own life and the lives of other people. I love the comments that are here with our viewers and listeners, and I would love to go through those comments. But Doc, what do you think? I think this evening our guests, they've dished something that brings about a breath of fresh air, when it comes to rising up, doing something with what we have right where we are.
Yeah, if I could actually sum up what our guests have said this evening, is that the road to success is always under construction. You'll never arrive.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they've said, and they are actually challenging us to do more, to actually understand that the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few.
Thank you so very much, Doc. I would love to share a few thoughts of our viewers, and I see Reverend Amos Matebula. Thank you, Rev, for being with us. We really appreciate. And Sister Anissa Wakakosa says, I would like to know more about inclusive education. So that is why, Mr. Tembe, you have to share with us the contacts of some of your centers. And then Zakan Maba say, hey, she says, powerful Pastor Zakan. Of course, you see the sister Mother there and her uncle. I'm telling you, she has been jumping up and down throughout the show. Thank you, Sister Zakan, and we really appreciate. And Nyeleti Doreen Chauke saying, powerful mental poverty and constant desire for handouts from the government are harming our country's chances of prosperity and killing dreams of our Black nation. I go to communities to work on these issues, but it is so painful that a young person would rather not listen to what would help them and complain that they want catering. Our people are a joke. You attend the training, all you are about is catering. You want to eat. My friend, this is very dangerous. And then let me see. Zakat Mildred saying, so powerful, Pastor. We must really wake up and definitely do something with our hands. A monthly salary alone is never enough. Hence, we need to have streams, multiple streams of income. Says Mildred, thank you so very much. That's very, very true. And then Sister Anissa also saying you can as well visit your social development offices for food parcels. Yeah, you see, food parcels must be given to those that honestly are in need and are poor, and that is why we must not, if you know you can work, don't go for free things, because the principles of life will work against you. You are stealing. You're stealing from those who are deserving. It's like what happens sometimes when they are relief programs, and somebody who has, and they loot those things and take them off. I can tell you, it's not trying to curse you, but these are facts of life. You sow, you reap. You cannot steal from the poor and succeed. And the painful thing, and I'm not scaring anybody, but this is true. The painful thing is that you are inviting poverty, and it might really follow your children. You'll be bewitched yourself. So it's very much important for us to understand this thing and want to take things. There are poor people that must be taken care of. I appreciate government for their handouts to the poor and the needy. And even the poor and the needy, you must not enjoy that. Hey, this tempt me, and very briefly, let me quickly share this one. This tempt me to share my story. Do you know, as a smart Kurmina, I lived in an RDP. I qualified for an RDP. In the then Gazangul, I was staff help. My first house, it was an RDP. I am from an RDP. So, the product of an RDP, it helped me back then. And I'm so grateful. But I cannot remain in an RDP forever. Now
Exactly.
I'm giving RDPs to others. This is life. You must grow. You know, when I married, my wife went to stay in an RDP. Even though that RDP, I love the you know what they did is they gave me material worth, I think it was 6,000, those RDPs. And I had to build my house, you know, an RDP. I'm a product of an RDP. Today, by the grace of God, my house, I don't know how many RDPs can fit in my house. Whether you just want to be in an RDP in pain, that's why I guess that's a little bit pain. Please rise up and do something and grow. It is very, very much important. Mr. Tembe, if you could tell us a little bit about your centers, you know, and what is up now, what training is in the pipeline.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pastor Strike. What's in the pipeline is that we are busy applying for a 3-year course in education.
Okay.
With Department of Higher Education and Council on Higher Education, and a 4-year BEd that will be offering not so long as if we get, when we get that accreditation from these two institutions. We have started the process. It's just difficult, but definitely we will be there. So,
so you are becoming a private university, guys.
Yeah, that's where we are going. He just said that this is other construction, the dog. So we are not there. We're still under construction. We want to reach there. So that's what we are doing now. And we're also next year we're opening another branch in Nelspruit. We have started and then doing 1, 2, 3, but it will be running as soon as January, February next year in Nelspruit. One other thing that I would like to share in terms of your RDP, through training, through education, you can change your shack into a machine. You can change your bicycle into a Porsche or Mercedes Benz. It's not a sin to be born in a shack, but I think it's a sin to die there.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about disabled people. They are moving away from this
just the grant.
Yeah, just this of a grant, and you see this thing of in Northern Cape, we're doing training. We're recruiting people in Northern Cape for a training. When they came, some of them, the first question that they were asking is, do we have a stipend? That was not about the cost, about the stipend. And that mentality, by doing that, we will remain in our shacks. But through education, training skills, we can change our shacks into our machines, our bicycles into our Mercedes Benz. Our little bit of this wood that we used to for what as a in water, what do you call this? A small boat, that the traditional one. You can change it to what? You can change it into what that ship that was sunk.
Submarine.
No,
the Titanic.
Titanic. Yes. So, but if you want, not if Pastor Strike, Pastor Joylene, Mandla with the dog, not because of that. That you want.
Yes,
I want to do that. And let me quickly share our contacts. Our head office is in Guyana, is 015 and then 590-1817. They can also contact us through info@tspcollege.co.za. And then the contact number for Polokwane branch is 060-875-3972. The next rate one is 013-754-7700. Let me also give my number. It's 083-686 7022.
7022.
So that one who wants to ask more about inclusive education, or any other person who wants to ask more about what we are offering in terms of inclusive education, they can contact, that's my number directly. Then I can assist them. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Pastor Strike. May God bless you and all the people that you are working with.
Wow, thank you so very much. This Bold Moves Radio, boldly breaking barriers and limitations and raising the flag of hope for an African child. Hey, Doc, our parting shots.
Madam, Menacing is read. We are really, I think maybe my parting shot to Manda and Mr. Tembe, as well as Pastor Joylene, is there's an Eastern saying that goes. They say if you want to grow grain, if they say if you want prosperity for a year, you must grow grain. But if you want prosperity for 10 years, you must grow trees. But if you want prosperity for 100 years, you must grow people. Now our gifts today, I realize that they are for human growth. I think.
Yes. Thank you so very much, Doc. Very powerful. And I want to say to you, my guests, thank you so very much. You have been so generous in sharing knowledge and sharing information and empowering our viewers and our listeners. And I would love to say to our viewers, to our listeners, thank you so very much. When we say Love SA, the Nehemiah phenomenon, we are talking about, bringing people that are doing something positive to encourage us, and also to open up for opportunities. Look, Mr. Tembe even shared his personal number. That's how free and that's how available our guests are to help you. And Pastor Joylene, did you give your contacts?
No, my number is 083-750-9994.
Thank you so very much. I would love to say to all of you, my guests, thank you very much for being with us. We took at least 37 more minutes of your time, but this is because we love you, we care, and we know together we can make a great difference. We can build a great nation. Dr. Mabila said that let us not always complain of corruption, but let us look at the positive things. When you like somebody said, some people are so negative that when they get into a dark room, they can process and become a picture. Back then when we processed pictures or films, you will do it in the what we call a dark room. So there are some people, and those pictures, they were called negatives. So you go with the negatives in the dark room and then you process them, then a picture comes out. So some people are so negative that they can get into a dark room and process and come out. So please, let us be positive. Let us look at life in a positive light. Let us believe in life, and let us believe in people also. We believe in God and we believe in people. Believe that people can empower you, they can help you, they can contribute in your life. You see me today, I'm a product of the contribution of many people. I'm not self-made. I'm made by people. That is why we are interdependent. We depend on each other. And as iron sharpens iron, then a friend will enhance the countenance of a friend. My name is Strike, and the program is called Love SA, the Nehemiah phenomenon, and my co-host is Dr. Mabila Matebula. My guest was Mr. Tembe from TSP College, and then I had also my guest, Pastor Joylene, who's the pastor for Manitoba Nichols as a senior pastor, but also the director for HVLM events and florist. She runs her own business, and of course, the director for Masana Dietitians, also here present. Thank you so very much, all of you, my guests, and have yourself a wonderful and a blessed night. As for me, I'm saying, love South Africa. What are you doing? What is your contribution? Are you tearing it down or are you building it up? Let us join our hands and build our nation. that we be no more a reproach. Thank you, and have yourself a blessed night. And Mnabele Mozambique, Akan Mambo, Mutakal.